The Magic Horse Story Part 1. Once upon a time, there was a black forest, with many wild animals and poisonous snakes, often coming out to catch people and eat them. Passers-by have to go around a long way. Hunters from near and far do not dare to hunt in the Black Forest, because half a year ago 2 young hunters were eaten by tigers. That makes all hunters worried and ashamed, but they can and number 39. Find a good way to completely eliminate the damage. At that time, a young hunter named Cat Lin had a personal interest. Every time someone mentioned the Black Forest, Cat Lin left without saying a word. At night under the moon, Cat Lin practiced bow and arrow all night long. 100 days later, Cat Lin and number 39's archery skills had reached an extraordinary, talented level. Within 120 steps, he fired 100 shots and hit 100. But no one knew that except his mother. One day, just before dawn, Cat Lin took her bow and arrow into a small forest to find animals to test her shooting skills. The forest was deserted, not even a rabbit was seen. Cat Lin was a little impatient. He suddenly raised his head and saw a ferocious eagle rushing like lightning chasing a beautiful cypress bird. Wanting to save the 100-ling bird and punish the cruel eagle, Cat Lin immediately raised her bow and arrows. Just hearing a and quat, whoosh and quat sound, the sharp arrow pierced the eagle and number 39's head. The cypress bird was rescued. Cat Lin felt happy and planned to go back and tell her mother. Suddenly, an extremely beautiful girl appeared in front of him, her clothes sparkling. Cat Lin suddenly remembered the story of the Lotus Saint that the old people often talked about. He suddenly felt both worried and happy. He stood there dumbfounded for a moment. Just as he was about to speak, the girl spoke first. "Dear young man, I am the Lotus Mountain Saintess. Just now you saved me, I thank you. You say, whatever you want, I will make it satisfy you." Cat Lin happily expressed her wish. "I Dawn and number 39. Want to have anything else? Just having something good is enough." "Very well, I know there is the best horse in the world. That is the divine horse, whoever gets it will be happy." The fairy raised her hand and pointed, continuing to tell Cat Lin, "From here, go straight north, you will come to a lake. Every day when the sun rises, the god horse will run to the lake to drink water, then he will capture the horse. But remember carefully, no matter how much the divine horse struggles, you cannot let it go." Cat Lin and number 39's eyes lit up, and in the blink of an eye, the fairy disappeared, only to see a beautiful cypress bird flying overhead. Cat Lin stood dumbfounded for a moment. Remembering the few words that Saintess Lin Hua had just said, he felt great joy in his heart, so he took off and ran home. Seeing Cat Lin and number 39's cheerful face, she immediately ran home. "Son, if there and number 39's anything fun, please tell me. Have you mastered bow and arrow practice?" Looking at her mother and number 39's gentle, wrinkled face, Cat Lin hesitated, but then told her about meeting the fairy and her intentions. The mother was both happy and worried and said, "Will you go alone into the Black Forest tomorrow?" "Well, you have to be careful, kid. Archery must be very calm." Cat Lin said, "I understand, mother." Mom, Dawn and number 39's worry, Dawn and number 39's Be afraid. The mother was a bit hesitant, but did not want to keep her child with her. Silence for a moment, then she calmly said to Cat Lin, "Just go. Try your best for everyone, kill all the wild animals." The next day, Cat Lin came to say goodbye to everyone. The old hunters insisted on following Cat Lin. Cat Lin was afraid of danger, so she firmly refused. But loyal hunters, definitely Don and number 39, want Cat Lin to venture into dangerous places alone. In the end, Cat Lin had to agree to let 3 young, healthy, and experienced hunters go with her. The other hunters all quietly gathered together at the foot of the mountain to help. Speaking of Cat Lin and 3 young hunting friends, they entered the Black Forest. The forest is dark and gloomy, without a sound. Cat Lin impatiently searched the place, but found no signs of tigers. Cat Lin happily shouted. Suddenly a fierce wind arose in the deep forest. Cat Lin looked ahead. A tiger was crossing the low trees, leaning straight forward. He drew his bow and an arrow pierced the tiger and number 39's left eye. The tiger roared in so much pain, the mountains and forests moved. The tiger jumped up strongly and fell to the ground. The 3 hunters rushed forward and used their swords to kill the tiger. At that moment, there were hissing sounds above their heads. A black python, with a body as big as the mouth of a bowl, slithered down from an old tree, and in the blink of an eye, it tightly entwined itself with 3 young hunters, its meter-long red tongue reaching right up to one hunter and number 39's nose. Cat Lin quickly moved aside, and quat. Whoosh and quat. An arrow flew and hit the python and number 39's head. The python writhed and swung itself out. 3 people fell to the ground. Cat Lin quickly ran to look. 2 people had regained consciousness, but one person had a nosebleed and died. Cat Lin hugged her friend, feeling very sad, hot tears slowly rolling down her eyes. At that moment, thunder suddenly sounded, causing the forest to collapse and the ground to tilt. A ferocious yellow jaguar jumped out from the deep forest. Cat Lin quickly put the dead man down and shouted angrily, "Very well, just come here." He pointed the bow and arrow on the ground. And quat. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh and quat. 3 arrows were shot. 2 arrows hit the eyes. The last arrow hit the middle of the forehead. The leopard jumped up and growled fiercely like thunder. Cat Lin jumped forward, a sword stabbed deep into the chest of the yellow-spotted beast. Then several more arrows stabbed down. Cat Lin stood tall like a god, shouting loudly until no movement could be heard anymore. Just walked towards his dead friend. At this time, the hunters gathered at the foot of the mountain had climbed the mountain, happily hugged Cat Lin, hugged him intimately, and carried him up. A moment later, seeing the fainted young man gradually regain consciousness, everyone hugged Cat Lin. Cat Lin, covered in blood, returned home and carefully recounted what had happened to her mother. The old mother hugged Cat Lin in her arms, kissed his forehead and shed tears of happiness. Please continue to follow the fairy tale. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.